Want to support what we do here? Go to mwpnews.com and click the Help Us Out link to buy one of my ebooks for $2.99, or you can support directly at bewareofspoilers.com. Welcome to Explore Hyperspace Lands. I'm Adam.
And I'm Josie.
And you know what I was thinking about today? Do you remember when we started doing podcasts together? This was back in 2015, how much more difficult it was well, I don't know if you knew on your end how annoying it was on my end to set it up to
No,
record. Oh
I
my
knew
God,
nothing.
I had to download this virtual cord that would make my computer think that your audio was coming through another microphone through
Mhm.
Skype. It was a pain in the ass. And then at a certain point where I was like, fuck it. And we put a microphone next to the speaker so that way when you talked, it would pick that up as you talking. It was
That's
like you were
bad.
calling in on a phone. Yeah. This is just, we just use Zoom and Zoom just works and it's great. Um,
So
so
is that why you're in kind of a miffy mood today?
no, I'm not in a miffy mood. I'm in a good mood
Oh,
today.
are you?
I mean, I'm in as good a mood as I ever am.
I was gonna say, are you sure?
I don't think good mood exists for me as a thing. I think that just goes along with major depressive disorder. You don't have good moods. You have serviceable moods. Um,
Oh, serviceable.
yeah. But yeah. So here we are. So before we get into the big topic of the show today,
Did you get your apartment?
no, not yet.
Not yet. Are you gonna, did that one, is that one working out?
The
The most
new
recent one
the
that you
one
sent?
the one that I showed you. I'm waiting to see what the pay raise I got looks like in my paycheck.
Oh,
Like, what's my take home after the pay raise takes effect? I think it will. I emailed them. They never emailed me back. I'm gonna call them tomorrow, but it should be.
oh, do
Um,
you get paid weekly, bi-weekly?
Bi-weekly.
Okay, for the previous 2 weeks or the ones that you just worked?
It is. So I get paid next Friday. That will be for this week and last week.
Okay, so for the weeks that you just worked.
Yeah,
I get paid bi-weekly, but it's the previous 2 weeks worked.
right. It's
So
a
like I
dumb
don't get
system.
paid. Yeah, I don't get paid. So like the first 2 weeks of the month, I don't get paid until the end of the month.
Yeah, even like this, I don't get this is only half because the pay raise took effect yesterday. We're recording on Tuesday, so this paycheck will have half at the old pay rate, half the new pay rate.
Are you
So
participating in any Christmas things this season?
I'm doing Secret Santa.
You
Um,
are.
yeah, I always did Secret Santa at work, which actually brings me to a question: should upper management participate in Secret Santa?
Yes.
Real, I disagree.
I think that they are obliged to.
Obligated.
Yep.
I
I
don't
think
think
both words work.
I don't think they're obligated to. I think
I
that
think that they
they
should.
I think
And
they
I
should
think
do their
that
own.
no, I think that they should, and I think they should be required to do an extra $10 on top of whatever the gift amount is.
All right, because that happened last year. Because last year I got um the 2 years prior I got the same woman both years, and she's like entry level customer
Unless you're
service.
us upper management like me, where most of my staff actually make more than me.
Hmm,
Isn't that shitty?
that is shitty. Like
Hmm.
I'm technically supervisory now. Like I'm not upper manager. I'm
Mm.
technically supervisory.
But I got
So
lucky because this year I pulled a name of another supervisor in a
oh,
different unit. Yeah.
I pulled
So,
I got the woman who runs all of HR. And I'm
oh,
like, great. So I asked my boss, because he knows her a little bit better. I'm like, what do you think I should get her?
they didn't leave any, like, wait a minute. There was nothing on there that said, like, what should we, like, I like these things. Like, you didn't
See,
have to
that's the
fill anything
thing.
out.
There's this. I don't know if this is the same thing you use. It's called Elfster. It's like an internet thing that
No.
you make your group like okay, so you invite everyone into it, and then
Mm-hmm.
you pick what you want. And if you're on it, you pick what you like. Um, and you don't have to do that. You can. So like I like, and the thing is too, it updates for fucking everyone. So anytime someone adds to their wish list, you get an email, which is annoying
Oh,
because it's like I
that
don't
is
care.
annoying.
I don't care about what someone over in sales wants. I got my person. She didn't put anything. So my thing was, I'm just
Oh.
gonna get her a gift card for Target.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Target.
Yeah, Target's always good,
Um,
or Amazon. Um, and like last year, the person who got me a really expensive like statuette, like a desk statuette.
what's that?
Like
Statuette?
yeah, it's like a mini statue. It was really fucking expensive though. I'm like, why did you spend this much money?
You guys don't have like a price
There
limit?
is
Oh,
25,
okay. Oh,
but she went above and beyond.
maybe she got it on a deal.
She may have, but also she's also upper management, so like yeah,
Oh, okay.
she spent more money. So yeah,
That's lucky.
she got it's a Thanos statue that I
Oh,
now have that could go on a desk.
that's very cool.
Yeah. Um, I
This year
got
I got my person wanted plants. So I
hmm,
got plant and chocolate.
chocolate. You can't go wrong with chocolate.
But so what we do is um we send out an email and then they have to email the one person who's like putting it together.
Right.
And then they see everybody's things. They put them on little strips to be pulled out of a hat, and then we pull it out of the hat.
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah. So like this year, all I wrote was, I like cozy things. I like cute things. Like I like
That's
things that can fit on my desk. Like
but like when I was working at Walgreens, we never did that. We always did Secret Santa, and I don't know how my boss managed to fuck it up every year, but every year she ended up where one person didn't get picked, and I'm like, how the fuck does this happen
it's
every
because
year?
she probably forgot to put her own name in.
No, but she always got something, so that didn't happen.
Oh.
But every year that got fucked up, and every year she had to buy a gift for two people.
Oh.
And I'm
That's
like,
weird.
this after the first year, all right, it fucks up. But after like the fourth year, I'm like, this is a skill issue. You're definitely fucking something up here. It's you.
Yeah.
Like you're doing
Yeah.
something wrong here. Um,
Yeah, like there's a name that you're supposed to be taking out that you're
yeah,
not.
yeah. And like you're only supposed to put your name on if you agree to be in, and then you go in. I don't understand how she perpetually fucked that up. But either way, um, yeah. So we were doing Secret Santa.
That's exciting.
Yeah. I already did
Hmm.
my Christmas shopping for my mom and my dad.
Did you?
Yeah, I got my mom. They don't listen to the show. But I got my mom. Um, okay. Let me. How forward are you with someone if there's something you specifically want for Christmas about what you want?
I don't usually want anything.
Because like my mom, I was at work and I got a text and it was a picture of the Amazon listing for this
Oh,
thing, and it's like it's only $25. Hint, hint. And I'm like, okay, well
that's perfect then.
that narrows down what you. And I think the issue is last year I got her a book, and she didn't want the book,
Mm-hmm.
so I went and got her a different cookbook that she was way more jazzed about.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so this is to prevent that from happening.
Hmm.
Um, so my dad though is very hard to shop for. I got him two like pint glasses, that have the seal for Marist on them. That's where he went to college.
Oh, okay.
So that I got.
My my parents are kind of hard to shop for. They're the kind of people where when they want something or
They just
need
go out and buy
something,
it.
they just get it.
That's what
So
my
there's
dad is.
yeah. Um, my dad though is a little easier because I can do anything Patriots. And the last few years I've been able to do kind of larger gifts for him.
Right.
Like get some of his memorabilia boxed and like ready to display on a wall
Oh, that's
sort of
nice.
thing. Yeah, because that's expensive. Like,
Yeah.
so I've been able to do that, but this year I am not going to be able to do that because I don't live near him. So I can't steal his memorabilia
And then
and
get it
go have it
boxed.
shadow boxed. Yeah.
Do you have
So
like in a mall by you, like a random sports memorabilia store?
I don't have a mall near me.
Oh, okay. Well, because I have a mall like every like when I was living in Albany, there was both malls had a sports memorabilia store, and then down here on Long Island, it feels like every mall has a sports memorabilia store where it's just
No.
random sports crap, and that's where I got that blanket for you that time
I
for
know
the
what you're
Revolution.
talking. I know what
Yeah,
you're Oh, okay. I know what kind of story you're talking about, but I don't no, we don't have anything like that nearby.
and I feel like
Um,
we've mentioned the blanket a few times. Back in college for
mhm.
her birthday, I got Josie a blanket because she's a fan of MLS for some reason. Um, and I saw a blanket for the New England Revolution. Um,
Yeah. And that was back when their team was pretty okay.
yeah, it's not, you know,
I
I don't
think it was
follow.
when they still had Dempsey. So
Yeah, I never really got into
that
MLS because we're in, you know, in New York. We got a bunch of other stuff, and then we have the Red
we
Bulls and the New York Football Club.
oh
But like
well,
having a team named after a sports drink was the thing where I'm like, I don't need to get this. Isn't that serious?
oh hmm.
Like, I want to get into Major League Lacrosse though. That's a real thing that
Do
I just
you?
found. Yeah, they I just found out about it recently.
You want
Um,
to get into it. I feel like
yeah,
that's not a thing that people like purposefully get into. I feel like it's something that they fall into on accident.
yeah, but like I was looking at what's it called? I was looking for work, and
Do you like Major League Lacrosse? Like, do you
I
like
liked watching
lacrosse?
lacrosse in like high school. Like, you know, I like my sister played lacrosse in in middle and junior high, but like it's the
Male
kind of
lacrosse and female lacrosse is a lot
oh
different.
no, I know, but like it
Okay.
I like sports like that, except for basketball, but like I've always liked hockey and lacrosse is kind of like hockey. Um and you can get season tickets for like $150 for the local team. I think it's like the Riptide or something like that. Um but the season tickets are like dirt cheap. Um
Okay.
and so I was like, maybe I'll get into that. Maybe that'll be my big thing. And it's like football, where it's only one game a week.
Hmm.
And it kind of slots in perfectly where the season starts as the football season kind of wanes.
Mm,
And
that's
then,
true. I mean, like, that's why you see, like, in high schools and stuff, like, kids would that were on the football team also did lacrosse.
yeah. And it's like, I watch, like right now, I mean, I'm watching college football only because Albany is doing very well in the
Hmm.
FCS. But you know, bubbles in a burst this week when they get fucking blown out by South Dakota State. But after that, I don't really follow anything between football and March Madness. I don't have anything to watch. So maybe I'll
Hmm.
get into Major League Lacrosse. It's on ESPN Plus, so you know.
What an interesting, like, segue into that, like, the wanting to go into lacrosse. That's funny.
Well, because I just want something to
That's
watch.
funny.
Like my go to right now is hockey. Like if I'm
Hmm.
working on something and I just want ambient noise, the beautiful thing about ESPN Plus is you can watch any hockey game that's not in your local market. Um,
Oh,
so West Coast
are
games
we
that are always run.
sponsored?
No, we're not.
Oh, well, then quit giving them free space.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't
I'm
think it'd be
just
a good.
kidding.
It
I'm
wouldn't be a good
sorry.
marketing decision either for them to put the money to market on a Star Wars podcast.
I feel like we barely talk about Star Wars.
That's true. Um, but this one I have actually a lot of stuff to go with.
Yeah,
I
you've
actually
got a
have
lot of things. Yeah, there's going to be questions that I
yes.
have to answer.
So first and
There's
foremost, before we get to that, we didn't get to talk about this on air, me and you. I talked about it in an episode that I did between while you were unable to record over the last few weeks.
okay.
I did an episode where I talked about
So
it.
then I guess give me the short version.
Okay, so Dave Filoni is now the CCO of Lucasfilm, the chief creative officer.
Okay.
Dave Filoni of Mandalorian and Rebels and Ahsoka. What are your thoughts on him having a more direct, hands-on role with kind of everything Star Wars, not just his little corner of the Star Wars universe?
I have very little thoughts on it. What are yours? Like, give me the brief rundown.
I'm not a huge fan. Um, I think that Star Wars more recently has been best when it kind of branches out a little bit, and
Okay.
it's not just centered around the kind of 10-year period before, during, and after the original trilogy.
Okay.
And I think that his role within Lucasfilm being expanded this way could lead to some involvement of um, his own kind of characters that he likes and not others. Like I think that like when we look at like Thrawn showing up, that's because he likes Thrawn. And then like when we get into like, on The Mandalorian, Cobb Vanth shows up because he likes Cobb Vanth. Who was the bounty hunter that showed up in Book of Boba Fett at the end? I forgot his name. The cool bounty hunter dude. Who was in Clone
Boba Fett?
Wars. No, the blue guy, whose name I'm forgetting,
Thanks.
who was in Clone Wars. Um, she's yelling at her dog, not me. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I think that that's my big issue is
Did you
that
hear
we're
her?
no, I heard you yell at him
Oh,
or
she
her.
was barking
Yeah, and
loud.
the
You
the
didn't hear that at all?
well, that is the microphone. The microphone's very good at filter. It automatically filters
Oh,
that
so I
out.
guess I didn't need to yell at her to stop, huh? I'll
No,
remember
probably not.
that next time.
If she was on your lap and barking directly into the microphone, you would. But if she's in the other half of the room, then don't worry about it.
Okay.
Um, or I'll let you know if it gets to the point where it's like it's picking up your dog as audio.
But so she was barking, but like she's barking because the other dog is chewing on something that is making a lot of grinding sounds and knocking sounds. So
Ah,
she's barking because she thinks somebody's at the door, but it's really just that the dog is chewing.
hmm.
She's just getting old. She's so cute though.
But yeah, I think that this could long term be not a great solution for Star Wars. I get
Hmm.
why you'd go with it. But if you want to make Star Wars last, I
Hmm.
think you gotta stretch out from this time period they're kind of stuck in.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I
Um,
guess we'll have to see what comes, right?
yeah, we'll see what comes of it. I mean, look, I'm like that's the thing. It's like I get shit for shitting on Xbox sometimes on 30-minute reviews, but I'm never rooting against anything.
Hmm.
Like I because the thing is, I end up playing the games, I end up watching the movies, I watch it all. I don't want to deal with bad shit. Like if I gotta play it or watch it anyway, I want it to be good. Like I'm not rooting against it. I'm not rooting for the failure of anything. I'm just seeing I'm just saying what I think based on past performance could be coming in the future.
Hmm.
Um, which brings us to our topic of today's episode. So 2023 is almost over. We're headed into 2024. So I have here 18 questions that I came up with that
Oh
are
boy, that's a
related
lot of
to,
questions.
well, we got to fill like a half hour, so you know, that'll do it. Um,
Okay.
so the questions are all related to what's happening next year based on some things that we know. So what we know is there was a post by Disney Plus UK that illustrated what was coming next year, some of the things to look forward to next year. And on it for Star Wars, they only had listed the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew.
Okay.
So we'll use that. That's kind of a framing device for this. So number one, do you think Andor season 2 comes out in 2024, or does it get bumped to 2025?
2025.
Okay, so Josie,
These are
2024.
predictions, and you can't ask me why.
Okay, well I will give
If
some
I have
explanation.
I promise that if I have a why, I will provide.
Okay, I will also say 2025, and I will chalk this up to the writer's strike and the
Okay.
actor's strike, because they had to stop production on that, because of the SAG strike, and I don't think production has resumed yet.
Oh.
So I think that if it comes out January, February next year. So our next
Mm.
question is, which release comes first, the Acolyte or Skeleton Crew? Do you remember what those two are?
No.
So the Acolyte is a Disney Plus show, live action. Amanda Stenberg, who played Rue, is the lead. Daphne Keane, who played X-23 and Logan, is also in it. It's set toward the end of the High Republic. Um, Meanwhile, Skeleton Crew is set around the time of Mandalorian. It is about a group of like kids who are with Jude Law, who may or may not be a Jedi, and they get lost in wild space slash unknown regions after a mishap on their ship. Um, which one of those do you think comes first next year?
Wild Space.
So Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew. I will say, I think the Acolyte comes first.
I think you're wrong.
I can tell because you said the other one.
Hey, let me be sassy every once in a while, okay?
I think the Acolyte comes first because number one, you you want to spread out some of the Mandalorian stories, especially if you're gonna tie up the Mandalorian era timeline. Well, New Republic era timeline. If you're gonna wrap that up in a movie, you kind of want to space it out a little bit. You don't want to have it all come out. So that's something you can put out in the August slot. The
Okay.
Acolyte, and the early in the year, is kind of where Star Wars does their more quote unquote experimental stuff. I think the Acolyte would fall into that.
I think that there's like they're one of them is going to get pushed, but they're going to keep the one in the wild space because it'll be more interesting.
Oh, I don't think it's gonna be more. I of those two, I think that the Acolyte's gonna be the better of the two shows.
Do you?
I do.
Hmm.
I think the I think Skeleton Crew has of the directors we've seen attached to. I think Skeleton Crew has better directors attached, but I'm more interested in the rise of the Sith leading into the Skywalker saga, which is what the Acolyte is.
Okay.
And I think that that could be
Interesting.
more that's a more interesting story to me than this kind of, you know, incidental plot line about what's going on in wild space.
Wild space is a pretty cool topic though, and I think it'd be a good opportunity for like toys.
Oh, 100%. And look, let's be honest with Star Wars. All of this is to sell toys.
Yeah.
Um, but I think you also get the ability to sell new lightsabers with the Acolyte.
Hmm.
Which, like,
And you
by the
don't
way,
think
I
that the
was
writers' strike and their loss of money during it would push them to move towards something that would could potentially produce them more money?
right, which is the Acolyte. I think the Acolyte, the High Republic, is definitely a more lucrative thing than the New Republic.
But sometimes people really like those one-offs of like the interesting character like Grogu and
Well,
the Mandalorian and like those
I,
came out of left field it feels like and
I think the
they've
other
done
issue
excellent.
that's kind of the wild card is it's a cast of mostly children.
Oh,
That's the other because
that's a
it's a
good point.
where it's like kid actors you can get great, you can also get shit very easily.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
God
It
help
can be
those
hard to
kids.
get the right um like response to things and
Yeah, like that's my concern is that are we gonna get good performances out of the kids? And look, God help them and God bless them for taking this on because they're gonna be subjected, no matter how good they are,
yeah.
to relentless stuff from the quote unquote Star Wars fans.
Mm-hmm.
So God help them next year as this show goes live. But I mean, look, like the girl who's in Percy Jackson, when they announced that she was to be playing the one that Alexandra Daddario played in the original movie, I never read or watched
I don't
those, but they cast a black girl in that role. And this girl, I think she's gotta be like, if she's 12, that's a lot. So much racist shit thrown her way.
really.
And I'm like,
God, people are the
I
worst.
know, really? Like, and that was the thing with like, with the Harry Potter thing, and then we'll get back on topic. They're doing the Harry Potter show, and they said they want to diversify the cast. And I'm like, okay, so Hermione's gonna be black like she is in Cursed Child, and God help that poor girl.
Hmm.
Um, but regardless, um, question three: does season three of The Bad Batch come out in 2024?
Hmm. No.
I'll agree with you.
I
Because
don't think so. I think they have too much else scheduled, and I don't think that based on their like previous releases of them that it would be coming out this year. Wouldn't it coming out in the following year?
Was there a year in between? Was it 2021, 2023?
I think so.
All
But
right.
I could be wrong.
I don't
Don't quote
remember
me.
I don't remember when season one was. I thought season one was 2022. Either way, I think they announced it was renewed too late into the year for it to make a release.
Oh.
Because I think it was renewed at San Diego Comic-Con. And if that's the
Oh.
case, then they couldn't start production until November to do the voice acting because again,
Mhm.
Screen Actors Guild strike. Um, Similarly, does Tales of the Jedi season 2 come out next year?
Mm, maybe.
Well, this is a yes or no thing, not a
I think it comes out in 2026.
in 2026.
Yeah, I think there a lot. I think a lot of things are going to get pushed.
You remember what Tales of the Jedi is, right? That's like the 6 15-minute episodes,
Oh, yeah, that might come out this
the
year,
animated one. I think that
next
comes
year.
out again.
I think you're right.
I think
I
that
didn't know what it was.
I think what
I
they're gonna do is they're gonna alternate Visions and Tales of the Jedi in that September slot because that's what they seem to
oh
be doing so far. So I think we get Tales of the Jedi season 2 in September.
oh okay.
Because like last year we had Visions, the year before that we had Tales of the Jedi, the year before that we had the first season of Visions.
Oh okay.
Um, So, question five. Do any of the three confirmed movies get confirmed to concrete release dates? And those three movies, to refresh your memory, there's a new Jedi Order movie with Rey. There's an Heir to the Empire movie directed by Dave Filoni that's going to wrap up the Mandalorian timeline stuff. And there's a Dawn of the Jedi movie from
Yes.
James Mangold. Okay, you say yes. I also say yes. I think that there's enough. I think that Lucasfilm is not immune to the online, chatter regarding this, and there's a lot of chatter of like why do they keep announcing movies and not giving it dates?
Hmm.
And why do they keep being like, oh, and this person's attached, oh, and this person's attached? It's like I think that it is they do have to be like we have to put a date somewhere to this.
Sorry.
Um, do any of the three movies get an official title? Because these are not official titles. It's just they've said these are the eras they take place.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so you say yes. I'm gonna also say yes, and I'm gonna say it's the titles that we've been referring to them as because I think that that's just the easiest way to do it. Just like everyone's already calling it Heir to the Empire, just call it the Heir to the Empire movie. Everyone's already
Hmm.
calling it Dawn of the Jedi. Everyone's already calling it New Jedi Order. Just go from there. I think if there
Yeah.
is one that doesn't just get that name, I think it's New Jedi Order because I would not be surprised if that turns into a trilogy.
Oh, okay.
Do any of these three movies enter production next year?
Yes.
Which one do you think?
I don't know. One of them.
I'm gonna say yes as well. I think New Jedi Order enters production.
Okay.
Because I think New Jedi Order they have a director, they have a script, they have Rey already signed on. Daisy Ridley's returning, and Daisy Ridley has read the script. I don't think there's a script yet for either of the other two. Um,
Okay.
and I'll be honest, I don't know if Dawn of the Jedi keeps James Mangold as director.
Mm.
Because of Indiana Jones flopping. I think that Lucasfilm
Indiana
has,
Jones was really bad.
yeah, I think that
I actually watched it.
I
I
think
didn't finish
Lucasfilm,
it though.
yeah, you didn't have to. Um, Lucasfilm has a tendency to when a movie bombs, jettison the creative team,
Oh,
which is
really?
how JJ ended up doing the third Star Wars.
Oh.
Um, it was supposed to be Colin Trevorrow, but he had a movie after Jurassic World that bombed.
Hmm.
And he ended up being jettisoned from the project. And then the same with like Lord and Miller were attached to do Solo. They started production with Lord and Miller, but due to creative differences, they ended up leaving and had to reshoot the movie that was halfway through production with Ron Howard. I think
Oh.
they're going to look at what happened with Dial of Destiny and be like, we don't want James Mangold to do this, even though. If there's someone that you can do a historical epic in Star Wars with, it would be James Mangold. I think they're going to jettison him.
Oh, okay.
And that should be a celebration. And it's not going to be like we fired him. It's going to be like, here's the director of Dawn of the Jedi.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
does the Mandalorian get picked up for season 4?
No,
I agree.
I think
I
it's done.
I think that Pedro Pascal is, yes, it's an easy gig for him because he's not even in the suit anymore. It's another guy in the suit and he just does the voiceover work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that if he's playing Mr. Fantastic, his schedule's too big. Uh,
Oh,
it,
okay.
and then on top of that, I think that they want to save him for a theatrical return. And I think that
Mm,
if you continue doing season of The Mandalorian, you end up that means less. If you give it time before Heir of the Empire,
mm-hmm.
it means more.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, does Ahsoka get picked up for season two?
Yes.
I agree.
There's no way it doesn't. It
Because
did well.
you need it's not just that you need to get Ahsoka and Sabine back to the
Yeah.
main galaxy.
Yeah, like
Um,
the story is not finished and it
right.
did well. It did
It
well enough
did.
to continue.
I didn't love it, but it did well.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm right there with you.
this one's more open ended. Do they announce any more live action Disney Plus shows?
Ooh.
So like, do they come out at Star Wars Celebration this year? Like, hello, so we have all of this. We also have. We're gonna share with you a new show that's coming. Do you think any new shows get announced?
For next year?
Or like not that it comes out next year, but like they announced they're working on a new show. Like there's a new show they're
Gosh,
making.
probably.
Okay, so Josie
Because they,
probably.
I don't know, like they're always doing shit.
Um, I'm gonna
And like it
say
seems like every single year they've got something new. Like they just seem to, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else it could be, but
well
I
they
don't
could do
think I ever
prequel
saw the
era.
Mandalorian. I don't think I ever saw the Mandalorian coming either. So, yeah,
Well, they could do
they
prequel
probably
era. They
will.
could do Old Republic era. They could do High Republic era. They could do
They
kind
could
of like
do,
a
but that's not
prequel.
what they like to do.
But I think they'd be dumb not to at this point.
I think they can afford to continue to be dumb.
I don't know that Lucasfilm can. Lucasfilm, I think, is the least lucrative, no pun intended, of the Disney studios.
Mm,
Because like the Disney live action remakes make money.
mm,
That's something for them. The Pixar continues to make them money. It's not as much as it used to, but I think Elemental's the start of riding that ship, and next year with Inside Out 2,
mhm,
I think it's gonna make them more money. Um,
mm,
then Marvel Studios, while the Marvels bombed and while Secret Invasion wasn't great, one of the top grossing movies of last year or of this year was Guardians 3. And Quantumania still made enough where it was a success, a
mhm,
financial success. Um, and the Disney animation is the only other one that's not doing as well. And if they take a step back with that, I could see them with Lucasfilm being like, we got to get our shit together a little bit.
mm.
And if that's the case, then I could see them doing a prequel era show, or is my camera moving? It looked like it just moved. It did a little bit, but who cares? I could see them doing a prequel era show, or like High Republic or something like that, like another High Republic, or an Old Republic show. Which I think is if they're going to announce something that's not related to anything we already know, I think that's the most likely because they've appeared to have canceled the Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Okay.
So I think we do get something like
Mm,
that. Does
okay.
the Acolyte get renewed for season two?
Maybe. I don't really know. Acolyte's not even come out, so I can't. That's hard to guess on.
Um, I would say yes.
Yeah.
I would say yes because I think they want to build out more aspects of the Star Wars galaxy, and I think that's
Hmm.
an easy way to do that.
Okay.
Similarly, does Skeleton Crew get renewed?
Don't know.
I'm gonna say, I would say no. Um, and my reason is I think Skeleton Crew doesn't tie into Heir of the Empire. I think
Okay.
Skeleton Crew is we've talked about the Thrawn books on here, the Thrawn trilogy,
Hmm.
and how the Thrawn trilogy has introduced the Grist. The Grist are kind of the new canon's Yuzan Vong.
Okay.
I think that show introduces that as a bad guy for New Jedi Order.
Oh.
Like, I don't think that the impacts of that show are tied into the Heir to the Empire movie. I think that that goes to New Jedi Order. So I think that that's a one and done. I also don't think
Hmm.
you get Jude Law to do 2 seasons of TV. And I think without Jude
Oh.
Law coming back, what's the point of
Okay.
continuing on? Um, does Yoda appear in the Acolyte?
Yes.
I agree. I think that's a slam dunk.
Yeah. That's
If
easy.
if he's not showing up, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Um,
What's the point?
the next question is a little bit harder. Do any of the major characters from the High Republic books show up in the Acolyte besides Vernestra Rowe?
Maybe.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. This is kind of why I wanted to do this in its entirety. Was this question? Um, I have the bold prediction that Avar Chris shows up, and it's not an announced cameo, and it's Brie Larson
Okay.
playing Avar Chris.
Oh. Avon Chris.
Avar, Avarr.
That's what I said.
Oh, they said Avon, like the Avon lady.
I might have. I was just being a jerk.
But yeah, I think that's gonna be the big thing. Like when you look at that character design on the cover of Light of the Jedi, I was like, that's the character. If Brie Larson's gonna play a Jedi, that's the
Brie
character she's
Larson.
playing. Captain Marvel. I think that's where
Oh,
she.
you think so?
I do. That's my bold
Oh,
prediction.
huh. Okay. Maybe.
And I, I think I'm likely wrong. But I want to be able to get that out there now. So when I'm right, I look like a genius. Um, I have another one of those for the year in review me and Peter are doing that you might be joining us
What
on
do
if you
you
have the
get if it's
availability.
right?
I get to say that I was right about something, and that's a good feeling.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't know.
That's no fun. Oh, that was rude.
Um, do any new animated shows get announced?
Probably
And I'm
yes.
I'm
The answer
talking
is
I'm not
yes.
talking High Republic. I'm talking I'm not talking like High Republic Adventures like that kids show. I'm talking which I sound really dumb when I say that, but like I'm talking like Clone
There
Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch, that kind of thing.
a new one?
A new one. I'm
A
talking
new
like a
one?
full show, not
Then
like
no.
Tales of the Jedi. I'm talking like
No.
you don't think so?
No.
Okay. No, Adam.
So are you
Yes.
gonna keep it, all these things, and then at the end of next year, we'll get to tally up who's right?
Yeah, I have my what's it called? I have a document. I'm gonna make it a little bit
What
cleaner
does the
after.
winner get?
Bragging rights.
Hmm.
See, because me and Peter did a movie draft last year, and the winner of that got to pick first next year. Um, but
See,
the
I
issue.
think that the winner should, so like the loser should have to say, I, Adam, know that
Okay, so it's
Josie
okay.
has
So
the best ideas and the biggest, smartest brain, like something like that.
I was gonna
And
say, why
I'm a
don't we just
big
order a
dumb
pizza?
dummy head
I
who
was gonna say, why don't
over
we just order a pizza for the other person?
I could order you a pizza, sure.
When I win. Um, do any animated shows? I think yes, an animated show does get announced. I think we get an animated show set First Order era, like a
Hmm.
sequel trilogy era show.
Okay.
Um, that would be my
What
guess.
what
Uh,
number question are we on?
we're on 16 now, so we're
Oh
almost done.
boy.
We're almost done. Do any
We're almost
major?
at an hour.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Do any major characters that we already know appear in Skeleton Crew?
What's Skeleton Crew about again?
That's the one where they go into wild space. It takes place around the time of
Is this the kid one?
yeah. It's not a kids show, but there's a bunch of kids in
Yeah,
it.
what's your question again?
Do any major characters that we already know appear there?
Yeah, we already answered that question. We think Yoda.
No, no, no. That's High Republic.
What?
No, no, no. Yoda is in the Acolyte. The That's the one that's the High Republic show.
Oh,
Skeleton Crew is Mandalorian time with the five kids
then
and Jude
I
Law.
disagree.
You think no?
No, no. I think Yoda's gonna show up in this too with the kids.
Yoda's dead at this
Yeah,
point.
but he's gonna come back as like a vision.
So yes to both then.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, I think in this one, I think yes. I think the major character is either Zeb from Rebels, who showed up
Or the
briefly in.
librarian.
Yeah, but she's dead too.
Is she dead?
Yeah, didn't she die in Jocasta? Didn't she die in Order 66?
Oh, she might have.
I could have swore I shot that bitch in Battlefront 2 in the level in the Jedi Temple.
I think you're right. Um,
Um, that level is
Kristen
fucking hard,
Hale.
by the way, in Battlefront 2, where you gotta kill the Jedi. You have to destroy the archives while fighting off Jedi as a clone.
Hmm.
That's a hard fucking level. Um, do any major character? I think yes. I think we get at least one Mandalorian. So I think we get Bo-Katan.
Okay.
I can see Bo-Katan showing up. Do any actors from the sequel trilogy get confirmed for the new Jedi Order movie, which is the one with Rey? Do any of the other sequel trilogy actors get confirmed?
Yes.
Do I take a shot at who?
No.
I will say yes. I will say both John Boyega and Oscar Isaac come back.
Okay.
Although I think Ray is only one movie. I think that John Boyega takes over.
Hmm.
And our last question: do any books get announced that take place outside of the movie eras, which is from Episode 1 to Episode 9, or the High Republic? Do we get any other books besides those that aren't Legends reprints?
No.
Um, I will say yes, and let me tell you why.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
See, and for everyone out there listening, full disclosure, it sounds like I'm springing these on her at the last second, but I asked her a week ago when I started coming up with these questions. I asked, "Do you
I
want
don't
to
think that
know?"
that's what it sounds like.
I think it does sound like I'm the type giving it to you at the last second. I
You
asked her,
are.
yeah, but I asked her a week ago, like, by the way, do you
You
want to
don't need
know
to
what the
also
questions are?
call me out on it.
No, but
Like,
I feel like I need to because it feels like I'm being mean.
no, you're
Like,
not. I don't think you're being mean.
no, but I think it sounds like it to people.
That's just how you sound.
I appreciate it. You just sound like a dick. You're not a dick, but you sound like it.
I don't think that my sides are like calling you a
No,
dick.
I think
Like,
it comes off like, oh, of course. Of course he
I
has
just
an
mean
opinion.
that's all it comes off as. Yeah, that's not because you're a dick.
But yeah, I think we do
Just
get a
because I don't have
book.
a great attention span.
I think we do get a book from Old Republic era. That's what I think. I think we get because I they went out of their way this year to define the eras of Star Wars, quote unquote. And one of the things they defined was the Old Republic. And in the new canon, what happened there is unclear. We don't know what is canon from the old stuff and what isn't. Is the Jedi Sith War canon? Is the Jedi Mandalorian War canon? What is canon? And I think we get our
Mhm.
announcement of books in that era to kind of lay it out. Plus, there's a little confusion I know I have with how that ties in with the High Republic. Because the High Republic feels like it should be before all of this, because it's really trying to tie into, like, oh, we're exploring the Outer Rim for the first time. And it's like, yeah, but this is after the Jedi fought the Mandalorian, so shouldn't they have done that already? Like,
Mhm.
it just kind of feels kind of loose. And I feel like we're going to get some explanation there. I also think we could get a post sequel trilogy book announced, like a book about what was going on after Rise of Skywalker.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, and I think either of those things would fall into that category. I also think we could get books that take place either between the original trilogy and the sequels, or um, after or during the sequel trilogy, because that era is not quite fleshed out.
Hmm.
And the books are an excellent place to do that.
Okay.
Um, so there are predictions for next year. Do you have any other thoughts on either 2023 or 2024 that you want to make a bold prediction or a bold claim about?
2023 or 2024?
Yeah, this year or next year.
Mm, I think you're gonna get an apartment next year.
Well, I meant Star Wars related, not
Oh,
me personally related.
okay. Well, no, I have no predictions. I
Or thoughts on,
unfortunately my brain does not work like that. I don't know.
I don't have higher order thinking to see into the future.
Yeah.
That sounded way meaner than I meant. I'm not calling you a goldfish, I promise.
It's not something that I put my brain power into.
Right. Well, if we can get this going next year, and if we can get this going bigger, I can bring you on the payroll, and then this could be your job if we can get this going.
Dude, I think you need to get you on the payroll first.
Well, yeah, that's the goal. Like, I'm not saying I'll pay you before I pay myself. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because you gotta get your own apartment
Well,
for sure.
that's happening. I think that's
I'm
definitely.
excited for you. I think you should. I think that's exciting. And then you, as your grandmother wants you to do, can go get somebody knocked up,
Yeah. Oh
which
my
you did
God. We.
not think was funny, and you did not answer me.
I did. I was like, yeah, I don't think it's a good long-term solution. Which, for
You
anyone
didn't answer
listening
me
who's
at all.
for anyone who's listening,
Oh,
we didn't talk about this. We didn't record after Thanksgiving, but on Thanksgiving, my grandmother made a comment about, because one of her friends is a great grandmother now. She made a comment about how she hopes to be a great grandmother before she dies. And
your sister is living with her boyfriend,
yeah,
so
and my
I mean
sister's
they're
there.
more likely.
Well, see, that would be the first part of this, but it's me, my brother, and my sister are all there, and she says like, "Oh, your cousin." I'm not gonna say his name, but like, your cousin's probably the one who's gonna get that, and I'm like, you what? Like,
Gonna
first
get
off,
that? Why did you say it like that?
is gonna get her that goal is what I meant to say. Like, get like her
Oh,
goal is to be a
okay.
great grandmother, is
Yeah,
to
he's
get
gonna
her.
get that.
And it's like he is in college still,
Yeah, he's gonna knock somebody up.
and it's like, is that the like? I don't know if he's still seeing someone.
She just wants to be alive for her great
No,
grandbaby.
no, no, no. You know what she wants? She wants to be able to she wants to be able to brag about having a great grandchild. That's what it is. Because it's
Why
like
is that a bragging right?
I don't understand. It's like my grandkid had sex. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. 'Cause it's like
No, it's I survived. I made it to the great
yeah. I
grandkids.
but like the thing is, it's like my cousins live pretty far away. It's like a 3 hour drive. They don't come out to visit us now.
Yeah,
You
why
th-
do you think she's gonna come visit with the
you you
babies?
think that they're gonna have a kid and be like, you know what? Let's load this newborn in the car and drive
Yeah.
that fucking ungodly distance.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, that's what she was referring to with the you got to knock someone up. It's like give her the great, you know, give her the great grandkid. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, that when I say I'm getting an apartment, that's not the goal of having the apartment.
But
Um,
maybe it'll be a side effect. Sorry.
we can reinstall the revolving door of bitches.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that joke's 10 years old. Um,
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know that joke. I'm a little
you
too
do.
that's
You were
before
there.
my time, old man.
What the revolving door of bitches? I made that joke to you.
If she I
This is when we were living in Albany.
Oh, okay.
You
I don't know
said
what you're talking about.
Remember, it's like I was in there playing my DS, and you're like, "What are you
That
doing in there, fucking
couldn't have
bitches?"
been me because I wasn't born yet.
Oh, okay. Josie's still mad that she's almost 30, and it's like, well, one of us is crossing that bridge first, and Peter already has, so,
It's
you
not
know,
me. I'm
like,
last.
yeah, you're of the
I'm
three of us,
last.
you're last by 3 months, so, or 4 months.
I think it's a bit more than that.
I don't think
Because
so.
when I cross that bridge, you guys are going to be already on the other side of it.
Yes, by by 4 months.
And
Well,
and
Peter's already crossed that
dust
bridge. Oh
in the
yeah,
wind.
we've died,
You'll have passed away.
lost like tears in the rain.
Yeah, dust in the wind.
Um, Speaking of dust, one last thing before we go. Do you have any interest
What?
in Dune?
That was
Do you have any interest in Dune, or me and Peter are the only two that were like, this is
You're
the
the
fucking
only two.
greatest thing?
And I absolutely thought you were going to go into it. I thought you were going to make a dusty joke.
Well, dust.
Like,
It's a fucking desert.
I know I got it, but I thought you were going to make like a dusty joke.
Like
Like,
what?
call me dusty.
I don't understand. What does that mean?
Oh, like call somebody like old or kind of like you've been put up on the shelf for so long, like you've gathered dust, sort of thing.
You're the youngest of the three of us, so
I know, but I
it
thought
doesn't
that's where you
work.
were going to.
No, we just spent the last
No,
5 minutes
that would
reliving.
only hurt me.
We just spent if you're old, then like, what am I?
Dust in the wind.
Um, if not for the fact that we had an SEO optimized title for this episode, there would be an episode title right there.
Is dust in
Yeah,
the wind?
yeah.
Can't it
Um,
be?
no, because I want to try and get people to listen. So the goal is to use a title that like sound like our
We
2020.
didn't talk about anything like Star. We talked about the predictions. So your title's
That's the
gonna have to
episode.
be about Star Wars predictions.
Yeah, our 2024 Star Wars predictions.
Maybe we should be more on topic.
I think we're fairly on topic when we remember to do
I
the topic.
disagree.
That's true.
When we remember to do the topic.
Remember I sent you the thing from like in Zoom. There's an AI guided what's it called? There's an AI guided like summary taker, so you get it in your email after it's like the notes from the
Oh,
episode,
yeah, yeah.
and it's like I sent you the thing, and it was like while a robust discussion was had, no decision was made. With
Yes.
like, the notes on the topic. It's like, well, there we go.
That's pretty much just you should just put that in the description of the show. A robust discussion will be had, but no
no
decision will
decision.
be made.
Yeah, it's like it's just one of those things where it's like I think it's entertaining. It's not
I
like it's not entertaining.
I do think we need to talk about Star Wars more.
I think we talk about it when we get. Well, I try to talk about
A
Star Wars.
lot of the times you don't get there.
I do get there. I'm the one trying to keep us there. I'm very
I
good at
think
keeping us there.
I think the small talk and like is good and it's funny and it can lead into good conversation. But I think sometimes we get off topic from Star Wars. I like the Star Wars predictions, but I do think that sometimes we get off topic from Star Wars and start talking about fucking Marvel shit and stuff.
Well,
And nobody came to the Star Wars podcast to learn about Marvel.
we talked about hmm
Oh no.
we did. I
Oh
forgot
no.
we did do that.
We did that a few times.
We did that a few times. Do you want me to have my thoughts on the Santa Claus in season 2?
This is a first. This is a first for
Yeah.
me. You didn't even know what to do when I was
like,
right.
Yeah, it happens so infrequently. I'm like, holy fuck.
Your brain broke for a second. You said, what is this? What is this new feeling?
I'm not usually the wrong one here.
Yeah.
Usually.
That's funny.
But yeah, so congratulations. Oh, okay. So wait, here is the exact quote. I found the exact quote. Despite the meandering topics, the conversation lacked a clear conclusion or decision.
That's true.
That is exactly the show.
But I think that's the
charm.
the format.
Yeah. Like
Charm.
Yes, that's what people tune into to hear us talk about nothing for an hour.
I think it's the format.
Yeah. But we are gonna try
We
next
never are
year
going
to
to be able to
be,
come to a decision, like a real decision.
and we do
Like we
somewhat come to decisions.
we
We
put things
rank stuff.
on a scoreboard thing,
Yeah,
like the ranking.
yeah, and
Um,
we will get
that
back to
one
doing that.
day will be finished. But I think then we'll just have to
Oh,
talk
we
about
will.
how we were wrong and
I'm gonna be
fight
honest.
to move things into different places.
I don't think you realize how many Star Wars books there are.
No, I know that there's a
There's a
lot.
very real chance that we never finish this project.
Yeah, that's true.
But I
But that's kind of
refuse.
why we need to do it in seasons, maybe.
And part of me is like, I see all these podcasts that have like 20 episodes and then they get never updated again. And it's like, I refuse to be that person.
Maybe we should
Um,
only do level like lists that are up to 50.
Lists that are up to 50. Well, what we're gonna
Yeah,
do is eventually we're gonna have to partition out the list because I'm not reading the entire list every
that's what I'm saying. Is like
like.
then we do it in seasons. So season 1 is 50 and then season 2
You
is
know what
the
we could
other
do to make it easier? We
50.
could
Is
do an
another
episode where
50.
we create a tier list where we take
Oh,
what we have and make it into put it into tiers. That way, when we rank, we can be like, okay, so we're gonna start at C tier where we think this is. And it's like C tier starts with this, C
maybe
tier ends
that's
with
what
this.
we should be doing anyways instead of ranking them. And then we can rank them in their tiers
Well, yeah,
one
that's
day.
well, we have it ranked already. I'm saying like we take our existing ranking and we cut it up into tiers.
Yeah, and
Like
then we
tier
go
one,
forward tiering things instead of
yeah.
ranking.
Or we can use the tiering to make it clearer when we rank. Um, what was the other thing? Oh, I had one more thing. If you have time. Um,
I have a little bit of time.
okay, because I do too. Entertainment Weekly did a list. I almost forgot about this, but I was looking for that quote and I found this. Entertainment Weekly did a list, the top 10 best Star Wars books ever.
Oh yeah?
So we're gonna go through the list, and you're gonna tell me, do you agree or disagree as we
Sure, I've
go?
got my Google at the ready.
Okay, so number 10, Inquisitor: Rise of the Red Blade by Delilah S. Dawson.
No.
Um, do you remember that book? Did you read that book or?
Hold on. I think I did. Let me see.
Um,
Inquisitor,
it is
Star
the descent
Wars.
into darkness that transforms a Jedi into a Jedi hunter. Um, it is the story of Iskat Akaris. It's close enough to Arrakis. Set across many years, it's the story of how someone becomes a Inquisitor. It's the backstory for that Inquisitor.
So it's Inquisitor. What's the name of it? Just Inquisitor?
Rise of the Red Blade.
Rise of the Red Blade. I have not actually um listened to it or read it, but I can almost guarantee you that should not be on that fucking list.
Because it's woke.
I don't know anything about it, only the cover art with the shitty red blade. Like, and just, I think that idea of the Inquisitor is really just unappealing.
Well, here's my question about the Inquisitor for you. Does the Inquisitor How is the Inquisitor that much different from the old canon, like Hand of the Emperor, which is what Mara Jade was?
So the Hand of the Emperor was, it's different because they are indoctrinated over a very long process and they're almost like a backup apprentice. Um,
Okay,
and they actually teach them different things to do with the Force to be a true
Sith.
like Sith user, but without being a real Sith.
It's
So
like a
like keeping
Sith
that very
intern.
much at a distance. Yes. Keeping it very much as at a distance, but teaching them how to use force powers in order to be a better spy, like this like elite spy.
Oh, okay. So it's more like the Sith practice
That's like
school.
their duties.
Like Tommy DeVito would be a hand of the
Um,
Sith.
no, because so like Mara Jade, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, would never have been taught how to do force lightning, which is like very Sith, but would be taught how to do like a force push
Well, yeah, but the Inquisitors do
because
that too.
yeah, but they're not taught personally by
the
The
Emperor.
Sith Lord.
I
Yeah.
thought they were trained
The
by Vader.
um
We got to read this book and get back to it. Um,
yeah.
so number 9, Outbound Flight. I disagree.
Um
Outbound Flight should not be on this list. Outbound Flight is Timothy Zahn attempting to retcon all of his stuff from Heir of the Empire into the prequels because the
I
prequels directly contradict Heir of the Empire a lot of times.
see this is hard for me. This is hard for me because the books that I really like
Hmm.
are prior, like none of them are canon anymore.
Well, this one's not canon either. Heir of the Empire, or not Heir of the Empire. Outbound Flight. Because the issue with Outbound Flight for me is it's the idea that we're starting to create a excuse for why the fascism in Star Wars is okay. This is the book that comes up with the idea that the reason why Palpatine is like, we got to consolidate power into the Empire is because he knows about the Yuuzhan Vong coming. That's where that comes from. And that's not something I like at all. I don't like the
Okay.
fascism apologist nature of it.
Okay.
Nor do I like the all of the stuff in this book with the Kiss Ascendancy is better laid out in the Thrawn Ascendancy books. This feels like a first draft of that, and I don't like how it fits in. It doesn't fit in nicely. It's like cutting a puzzle piece to fit in where it doesn't.
Hmm.
Um, Number 8, the Han Solo Adventures trilogy, which I don't like that you're putting 3 books in one. This is from 1979 to 1980. It is stories of Han Solo, a droid named Bullocks. I never read any of these, but okay, I guess that's probably a nostalgia pick because it came out. Oh, Cad Bane was the name of that guy that I was talking about, the blue guy.
The Han
In Book of
Solo
Boba Fett.
trilogy. I have not read this on Han Solo
Yeah, because it
trilogy.
came out in 1979, and I think most of it wasn't canon by the end
Hmm.
of by the end of the original trilogy. Number
Okay.
7, Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray. I actually really liked this book. This one's fairly recent. Um, it is a story before Phantom Menace about Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon on a mission. And it's about
Oh,
their dynamic. It's about and it introduces a cool new type of lightsaber. I really like that book.
okay.
That would probably be in my top 10. Number 6, Dark Disciple, um, which is based on unproduced scripts that were supposed to be an 8-episode arc of the Clone Wars, where the Jedi Council decides to assassinate Count Dooku, but it would not be very Jedi-like of them to do the deed themselves. This is from Entertainment Weekly. They asked Quinlan Voss to pair up with Asajj Ventress to kill him.
This is actually a pretty good book.
Okay, I'm gonna go back
I
and read
do
that
like
one.
it. I do
Um,
like it. And if you get the chance, like listening to the audio version is good because I think they use the same voice actor or
oh, so it's
actress to do Asajj,
so it's like
an
Dooku Jedi
abridged
Lost.
production sort of thing. Yeah. Yes.
Number 5, you're gonna be happy about this. I'm not. Kenobi,
I like Kenobi.
which we
I don't know
talked a
if it
lot.
deserves to be that high on the
I don't
list,
think it
but I
deserves to be
like
top
it.
10.
No.
Um, Whoa. Oh, never mind. That's nothing. Okay,
But
never
the
mind.
thing is like this list has got to be so arbitrary because whoever made it, there's no way that they've read
All of
very
the books.
many. Yeah, all of the
Number
books.
4, Bloodline by Claudia Gray, which
Bloodline.
that's the story about Leia after Return of the Jedi. 25 years after Return of the Jedi. It's about the rise of the First Order. Um, I
Oh,
did enjoy that book.
that is a
Um,
good book.
Number 3, you're also going to appreciate the Darth Bane trilogy. Again, not a fan of them taking trilogy
Yes.
and putting them in there. Because if you're doing best books, you can't put a
Yeah.
trilogy in. For the
I'm
Darth
pretty
Bane
happy with
trilogy.
it being up so high because it is excellent.
Number 2, Darth Plagueis,
That's a pretty good one. I don't think it deserves to be that high up,
the
but it
the
is
second
good.
best Star Wars book, and number 1, the entirety of Heir to the Empire. So Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command. Um,
Okay.
which obviously Heir to the Empire was going to be number 1. I think that Dark Force Rising and Last Command are kind of riding the coattails because I think that there are other books better than those too, but Heir of the Empire is definitely the best.
It
Um,
is pretty good.
I would say that notably omitted, I think Light of the Jedi is notably omitted from this list. That was a fairly recent one. That was the start of the High Republic. That one was really good. I really enjoyed that one.
Mhm.
Um, and even the second one, which name I'm forgetting, which introduced the Nameless, that was pretty cool too. The Rising Storm by Cavan Scott. That one was also really good. Um, I think Dooku Jedi Lost is a notable omission.
I agree. I
That's a
do.
fantastic one.
Well, I think it's notable, but I don't think it deserves to be on the list.
I think if Kenobi's on the list,
I
I
think
think
it's
it
fine.
definitely. I think if Kenobi's on the list, that definitely deserves to be on the list.
Uh, I thought Kenobi was up too high. I think that it's pretty close to being on the list, but I don't know if it deserves a spot on it like in my own list.
And I think that you need to
Like,
have, if you're going to do a top 10 list, I think you need to have at least one represented. Number one, I think the third Alphabet Squadron book, Victory's Price, definitely deserves a place on the list. That Alphabet Squadron trilogy is fantastic. I think it's probably the most underrated of the stuff to come from the Disney era, and the same goes for the Padme trilogy by E.K. Johnston. That's another one that is very underrated, mainly because the last book was not as good as the first two, but the first two are just fantastic for laying out Padme as a character. Um,
okay.
I think those also deserve higher or any reference at all, and the same goes for there's another big one that was fairly recent that I'm thinking of. I don't
I
remember what
do
it was.
think that if we're putting trilogies on the list, that I absolutely think Star like the Legacy of the Force should be on it.
Oh, absolutely. Like
Like,
New Jedi
yeah.
Order as a concept. Like no
Yeah.
representation from there is kind of weird too.
I do
Um,
actually think that the Mall book was pretty good, and
Maul.
I would put that Maul,
See,
like
but the
Darth
thing is,
Maul.
yeah, that one's good too. But like the other thing I'm thinking is that if you're gonna put Kenobi on there, you gotta dovetail it in
It's
with Dark Lord of the Sith.
Maul Lockdown down.
Oh, okay. And the Bounty Hunter books aren't on there either. I'm surprised about that. The Bounty Hunter books
Yeah.
people love. But like I think the
I
thing is
just
too, if you're gonna put Kenobi on it, if you're gonna do things that tie together, you gotta keep Kenobi in with what's it called? In with Dark Lord of the Sith, which was the book about Vader in the same era, and the two kind
yeah.
of dovetail.
And then there's also Fate of the Jedi, and I feel
Which
like
one's
that
that?
deserves to be in it.
And I think too, if you're saying best Star Wars books, the Jedi Quest books
Yeah.
deserve to be mentioned because for a lot of kids, that's an on ramp to Star Wars while also teaching them to read. Because like, I don't, do you remember reading those books as a kid? The ones with Anakin and Obi-Wan between one and two, and like on the back
Um,
cover, it had a weird anamorph thing of like Jake Lloyd becoming Hayden Christensen.
no.
Yeah, look up the Jedi Quest books. That was like it's like a mid-grade like series. It was a long-running series of books about Obi-Wan and Anakin and their relationship and them, going on adventures and stuff. And it's like if you're gonna put books,
Oh, no. I've not read this.
yeah, it's I wouldn't go back and read them now because again, they're mid-grade, so it's not something that you would as an adult have any enjoyment reading. But
Yeah.
if you're talking about most impactful Star Wars books, you gotta include that somewhere on there.
Yeah, but not best.
All
Not
right.
the list is not most impactful. The list is best.
Well, it is kind of because if you're gonna put number
No.
like the reason part of the reason why Heir of the Empire is so important is because it reinvigorated interest in Star Wars and improved its viability as a franchise 10 years after what's it called? 10 years after Return of the Jedi. And it's like that's why I'm kind of surprised there's no X-Wing representation because those books are fantastic. They are great military novels. I'm surprised that they're not represented. But we'll wrap up there for today. My laptop's dying. Um,
Okay.
our next episode, the next time Josie can record, we'll be doing Heir to the Empire.
Okay.
We will actually be doing Heir to the Empire next time. But until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.
Bye.